Hi there, you're watching this video because you have received as a gift or bought it for yourself for your coffee shop or home to make some espresso chocolate melts. In this tube, when you open it up, you'll see a little bag like this. This is where you put on in the chocolate and then squeeze it out. You also most likely received some awesome molds right here. Here they are, nice heart-shaped molds where you will be squeezing into each one of these after the chocolate is tempered. Step number one is wash your hands and get your gloves on and get ready to melt the chocolate. Right now I'm putting on some hot water to boil. I'm going to grab a couple different bowls. Now what we're going to do is take ice and put it in one. In here you can see I put some ice to really make it cold. Let that melt in there. Next step is get the hot water. Three things you can do. Boil the water in a kettle, or you can put water in here and then boil it and then put the chocolate in here and do a double boiler system like this. Or you can put the hot water in a microwave and get it super hot. One of the things I suggest is get a towel. It will be very useful that when you put it in the hot water and then you have to take it out and mix it to do a temperature gauge. Same thing with the cold water. So get a towel. That'll be very helpful. Put on the gloves, take out the chocolate. Inside you'll see a random letter of encouragement, one out of 1,000 that were written. One thing you can do is break this up so it melts better. One of the things I really want to make sure you understand is that this chocolate right now at this stage, it's going to look very, very grainy. You'll be like, that's not chocolate. It's not supposed to be like that. But it is, because right now what this chocolate is, it's got a lot of different kinds of crystals that grow into there. When you're making a chocolate as we know it, it's nice, crispy, and solid. That means only one type of crystal has been grown into it. So yes, it's real science here. You're going to be growing crystals. That's why chocolate solidifies. We want chocolate crystal number 5. This is a mix of all. Right now, in this bowl, it's actually kind of starting to get soft because these crystals, the other crystals, melt at a very, very, very low temperature, meaning it doesn't take much to, or high temperature. Room temperature is softening them up already. So here we go. The hot water just boiled. I'm going to fill it up and start mixing it up. Okay, here's the hot water. The other thing is, depending on which package you bought, you might have gotten this thermometer. If not, if you have a candy thermometer at home, great stuff. Here's what it looks like. It goes all the way up to 130 down to 40 degrees. So this one, keep it right by your side because you want to make sure that this chocolate gets to 110 degrees. You can see as I'm going to start moving it around, it's already starting to melt. There we go. And that's what you want, this whole thing to melt and get to 110 degrees. One thing I do to make sure it's very easily accessible is I get a dry cup like this, put it in there, and put it to the side. Okay, now it's time to rumble. So I mean, it starts dripping. If you put it on here, there we go. Have some paper towels next to you so you wipe your hands off, or your gloves off in this case. Okay, I'm gonna check this out. Pretty good. It's beyond 110 degrees. So now I know I am ready to go to the next phase, which is the cool down phase. You want to cool it down to 75 degrees. Before I start cooling it, what I'm going to do is make sure that my molds are set and ready to go. These molds. I'm going to make sure that my dispenser is ready to go. Time to start cooling. Make sure you get no water into your chocolate. And if for some reason you do, which I have before, just take a paper towel and dab it into there and the water will be taken up pretty quick. One of the things that you have to be aware of that's going to be happening is the following. The chocolate on the sides is going to start getting get solidified, and what you want to do is dump it into cold water, take it out, scrape it around like this, and keep going. There we go. That's what's happening. It's going to be sticking on the side, so that's why I'm taking it out right now. Whoop-a! Getting a little messy. Just put the hot chocolate around, scrape it off, get it in there, get the cold mixed in with the hot. Okay, let's see, just for fun, see where it's at temperature-wise. Just rotate your thermometer like this to understand, get a good even heat reading. So we're already down to 85. It collapses very fast, guys. Super fast. I could already feel it getting thicker. The colder it gets, the thicker the chocolate gets on the sides right here. And it's going to be a little harder to scrape off, which is totally fine. I just put the chocolate on, the warm chocolate on the side, give it a few seconds like that, and then scrape it off. Got to make sure that the chocolate on the bottom here is also scraped off, because if you don't do that, it's going to solidify unevenly. So there we go. You can see it's getting pretty difficult to move around. This is the only tricky part to this whole process, is you don't want to keep it here too long because it can solidify very fast on you. So I'm just going to make sure that it's hit at least 75. Yep, it hit 75. Seeing the thickness of it, I'm like, okay, it's time. And now for the last part. This is the only tricky part, and if you mess up here, it's okay. You can restart. Woo! Failure is an option, because there is no such thing as failure with chocolate. In this case, you're not going to burn it. I'm using the same water, same hot water. Just going to give it a few minutes for the crystals to kind of keep growing, so that, which means the chocolate is going to get thicker and thicker. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just stirring it up. See, it's like, it's getting very thick. So right now you can see how it's not, boom. That's called thick. That's thick enough. So I'm going to dump it into hot water here again and start mixing it. So the goal is to not get over 83 degrees, okay? So you can see how in here it's starting to get shiny again. And some of it is very hard, while some of it is, the outside right here is liquidy. The inside is like a blob, hard to even pick up. See that? So now I'm mixing the heat up, mixing it up. So what's happening here is I'm melting all the crystals that started growing 1 through 6. When it gets cool, all these crystal sizes grow. When I heat it back up, everything except for crystal number 5 melts. So right now I'm just doing it for a few seconds at a time, mixing, making sure I don't get above 83. Okay, it's 81. Pretty sure there's still enough heat in there to just start mixing it up together, because I do not want to go over 83 for this particular chocolate. Last step is getting this chocolate into this bag. The simplest way to do that is by taking this right here, just by putting it in an angle like that. You could use this and making sure that it's going to be bent all the way down, because if you don't do that, the chocolate is going to be pouring out. Woohoo! I don't need the waters anymore. I take the molds, put them down here, and start by, you just fill it up. Now that you've poured it in there, you want to tap it to get all the air out. You see how right now it's just in there. What you want to do is just tap it like this. I'm just seeing where I could add a little more. Okay. So just keep twisting this. Okay. In this particular batch, we were able to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2. 139 hearts. Now, one of the things I want to say is when a heart like this, right here, this particular one, that's too full. And you really want it to look a little like this right here, where it's just a little under the lip like that, because that's the perfect thickness you want for the best experience. Here it is. Next step is to put it into the fridge. Okay, let's see if these are good to go. There, that right there is not ready yet, whereas this right here is. Give it another few minutes. Can't forget to wash the dishes. So the chocolate right here, you can see, just fill it up with hot water like this, and it will all melt off pretty easy. You can see it's coming off very nice and easy. And then just rinse it off, wash it off, and it's good for the next time. I put it inside out, washed it. I will keep it like this so that next time I use it, it's going to be dry on the inside when I flip it right side out. The next step is truffling the chocolates. This right here is the espresso grinds right here. So you can get that at any of your coffee shops. Just have them grind it to a powder. It'll be good to go. The next step is you put on a good base and grab a sifter, which is all the way back here, naturally. Here are the chocolates. 135 candies have been made. I'm gonna let them warm up for a few minutes. Then we're gonna douse them in the truffle or the espresso coffee chocolate. Now the next step is to take this chocolate and put it in here. Okay, make sure you close like this and then start shaking them. So when you shake it like this, the chocolates will come to the top and the powder will go down, and you want to do that a bunch of times for a few minutes to make sure that chocolate is everywhere. Then you spit it around, spin it, shake it. Last step is to take this and take off all the coffee. Okay, first you want to get the big stuff off, and then you just kind of, the top, just bounce it back and forth, and the chocolates will just kind of rotate, and any excess coffee on the chocolate will come off. You want to kind of roll it around like this. Whoop! If you're feeling extra awesome, you can take it back up again like this, put it back on. I like to do this so that all the edges are going to be nice and clean. Okay, they look perfect. Look at that. Each candy is truffled with coffee. And the reason you want to do that is so that it's, when you put it in your mouth, it gives you almost a instant bitter flavor, and it gives you a chalky experience. But as the candy melts, the espresso melts, it becomes sweet and smooth. And that's what you are experiencing with these candies, is you go from bitter and chalky to sweet and smooth. And I say, this is my encouraging coffee. When in life things seem bitter and chalky, if you just hold on and you keep on keeping on, things will sweeten up and smooth out. Thank you for purchasing. If you have any questions, send us an email. Have an awesome time making chocolate. Peace. But wait, there's more. How could I forget? Where do you put this chocolate? You can put it in a cup. You can put it into any kind of packaging that you would like. That's perfect. Look at that. So this right here, believe it or not, you could sell for $1 a piece, and that's about $135 worth of chocolate. And for the final, what do you do with this? Well, you reuse it. Why I like to use this kind of paper, wax paper, is because it's easy to put everything back. Let's see. Whoops. Now you're good to go. In the end, make sure you put your thermometer away as soon as it's nice and clean, so it doesn't break. Happy chocolate making.